I think that goes back to a comment I made in one of the other questions is smart growth. To be able to keep the main street feel the way it is, like John said, with the different pods and things like that, the village center, if you want to call it that, right now is probably around that north and south center street area. You know, any development and additional building and things like that, I think are going to start to work out to the east. And whether that becomes the village center or whatever you want to call it, I think still retaining that thoroughfare through the downtown main road part the way it is will help us retain that small town feel. I don't see any big store boxes like Target or anything like that, or I'm sure everybody would love an Olive Garden or something like that. So
okay, I have to say that there isn't a thing that I don't moderate where somebody brings up Olive Garden, and folks, they take 50,000 people in a single city to even think about it.
Correct. Yeah. So we aren't going to be able to focus on big things like that. We're going to have to keep things small because we are that small town community. Smaller shops, like John was saying, family-owned businesses. I am all for supporting locally owned businesses. If I have the opportunity to go to a big chain or to buy something, or if I can go to a small town hardware store or something like that, I'm going to go to that small town hardware store because it's those people that are living here and creating and running their business here that I want to support. So smart growth, whether it be housing and stuff like that, going towards the outskirts, still retaining that small town feel through with the downtown thoroughfare.
Brian, thank you much. Mr. Krupke.
I agree. Keep the bulldozer off of Main Street. Leave it the way it is, updated, but keep it the way it is. But getting off that a little bit, the community events that we have, Action in Jackson has been going on for more years than I've been around, and I've been around a lot of years. Music in the park, our community parks. We're looking at redoing the tennis courts into a tennis and pickle court. We've got the splash pad. We've got the new playground equipment up in Hickory Park. We've got community parks, whether it's Meadowview, whether it's Reese Memorial Park, which have some equipment in for the community, the local part of the village. It's these things that keep the community small feeling. We're a big community with a big heart, but we come off as a I don't know how you want to phrase it. We want to stay small in the way people perceive us.
Thank you, John. Tracy Wells, you're next.
Okay, how to protect that small town feeling. I go back to the school on a lot of things, and I think keeping that school in our community will help protect our community and keep that feeling in our community. Shipping them off to another city won't keep that feeling here. We have a lot of local events, like John said, Action in Jackson, and just other community events. And it's nice that all the kids get to know each other and see each other at school and then come to these events together and still know everybody. If you ship them off to different schools, the borders might change and stuff like that too. Who knows? But I think that helps keep that feeling. And just using those local businesses and stuff too keeps it all smaller feeling.
Tracy, thank you. Before Debbie answers this particular question, I want to tell the entire panel that we will be moving into closing comments next. So if you have any notes or thoughts that you wanted to have, just to give you a 30-second head start on that. But Debbie Kurtz, if you could close out this last question for us.
I'm not sure exactly how to keep this small town feeling other than not to grow too big. Growing is fine, but you have to balance it out with what can be afforded and what not. My big concern and I know this is a little off subject, but my big concern is that taxes reach a point where people sell their homes. I being one of them after 23 years of living here and paying over $80,000 in taxes, so I believe I'm a little vested in this village. I don't want to ever have to feel like I need to leave, but there are people that have talked to me and they feel they do have to leave because they're scared about the tax future. So I don't know what it takes. I guess all of us working together and try just to do what's best.